Do you ever feel like in the Christmas season or maybe Easter that you as a church are just re-watching a movie that you've already seen before? Let's talk a little bit about why that is and why that might actually be a good thing. This is Dan from sermonsnack.com, bite-sized truths in 5 minutes or less. A few years ago, Disney released a movie called Planes, followed by Planes, Fire and Rescue, and my 3 young boys were enthralled with these characters. We put those characters on the birthday list and Christmas list and amassed a huge bin of these die-cast airplane toys. But eventually, of course, new shows came out and new characters were introduced in other TV series that took their attention. And so eventually we had this bin of airplane toys sitting on a shelf collecting dust. And I remember when the Planes movie came out for rent, I suggested to the kids, well, why don't we watch it again? And they kind of, well, we've already seen it. And they didn't really want to. But man, as soon as the show was on TV, sure enough, they sat down and started getting hooked on the story again. And let me tell you that by the end of the story, once it was done, they all rushed over to the bin of toys and started reenacting the movie with those toys. And it got me to thinking that this is just how we are as humans. We hear the story, it impacts us, but then we move on. I mean, I would say that most people have a very short list of movies that they like to watch over and over and over again, especially because they know how it ends. However, I think that there's something really beautiful and profound about the church saying that these stories are ones that we want to watch every year. We're gonna rehearse and tell this story again and again and again. And we're not going to do it every week because, one, we can't cover all the themes in a single week. But we also have this really natural rhythm of doing something once a year. Take, for example, a birthday or an anniversary is a great example where it's not like you don't have love for your wife the rest of the year or even celebrate it, but there's something really special about being deliberate and celebrating your anniversary on a single day, about remembering the story of when you made your commitments and you made your vows. And so in the same way as a church, there's an intentional step to say, let's remember the story. Let's not forget, and let's rehearse those themes in our hearts. So whether that's the resurrection or Pentecost, or whether it's Advent, or whether it's this idea of Emmanuel, God incarnate, God coming to live with us, those are things that are valuable for us to remember each and every year. So as you come across these stories each and every year that seem so familiar, where you might say, I know how this goes and I know how it ends, remember the value of watching it again, of allowing your heart to be drawn into the story again. So just like the kids pulling out those toys and playing with them, you are drawn to experience the profound truth of each of those stories every single year. Thanks so much for listening. Don't forget you can hear more episodes by subscribing on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, YouTube, or going online to sermonsnack.com.